So this article actually made me chuckle somewhat. It was just funny to some degree to me, but the title of the article is "The Disgraced Founder of Papa John's Says the Company's Making Worse Pizzas Without His Conservative Values of Truth and God." So I'm just going to read off some of the quotes from this article, but this article is about John Schnatter. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his last name correct. If I'm not, I apologize for that. But his name is John Schnatter, and he is the owner of Papa John's, or was the original founder of Papa John's. I don't know what's his status now, but I know he's not the CEO of Papa John's, so he no longer has that title. And it's this article is just about him basically saying that Papa John's has gone down the drain since he left Papa John's, or well, we could say he was basically forced out of Papa John's. The reason why he was forced out of Papa John's is because he got caught on a conference call way back on July 18th. And I'm going to read what he says. I'm going to not say the racial slur he said in there, but here's what he said that got him in trouble way back in July of 2018. Quote unquote, he said, Colonel Sanders called blacks N-bomb, and Sanders never faced public outcry. So I don't know why he said that, but I think it was, from what I recall, that he made these remarks because he was practicing with his marketing consultants about what not to say that could cause damage to his company reputation. Obviously, not a smart move by Schnatter at the time to even say that phrase in a hypothetical situation, especially on a conference call. Just it pretty much destroyed his reputation and credibility for him to say it openly the way he said it. So that started his removal from being the CEO of the company. And I'm trying to see if he said anything else crazy here. Well, he said plenty of crazy things. So one thing that did crack me that did crack me up is when he said it took him like 2 years to get rid of the N word from his vocabulary. To me, that's hysterical because if he said it so openly on a conference call, he's probably saying it behind closed doors all the time. I think it's very hard to get rid of any type of word that you've been saying for years, even good words. It becomes part of your vernacular. So that made me laugh when he said that. I obviously don't believe he's gotten rid of the word out of his vocabulary. He probably still says behind closed doors. He just feels dumb that he got caught. Just I have to admit that was a pretty idiotic move by him. Usually, white CEOs or racists tend to be smarter in this regard. They keep their racism behind closed doors. They don't allow the public to know. So he failed in that department, just showing how dumb he is. But anyways, what cra- what cracked me up about this article is just some of the other quotes he said. Just for example, he said that Papa John's has lost its way, that it's losing money and is down with Little Caesars. I have to admit, Little Caesars is pretty crappy. So when you're at the bottom of Little Caesars, you're really doing poorly. I remember the only time I ate a bunch of Little Caesars was when I was in college, and it was just really cheap, hence the allure of it at the time. I think back when I was in college, you can get a large Little Caesars pizza for $5, but it was like eating out of the garbage can, I swear, once you ate Little Caesars. So for him to say that is pretty bad. But I actually had to admit that I stopped eating Papa John's even before he said the racist stuff he said about Papa John's. So I felt it was going down the toilet even before he got in trouble. I haven't eaten Papa John's in years. I can't even remember the last time I ate Papa John's. It's been a long time. I'm not saying I eat the best pizza. I like to eat Domino's, Pizza Hut, just in any other type of pizza that isn't Papa John's, to be honest. They're like the last on my list when it comes to eating pizza. So I think he is right about that one. I'm just trying to see what other stuff he said here. Just there was something about conservative values I'm trying to find here. Trying to find what he said precisely. Yes, okay, here's the quote. We built the whole company on conservative values, conservative ideology, has two of the most critical attributes, truth and God. So I'm not into religion when it comes to business or mixing those things up. I'm always skeptical of businessmen that use religion when it comes to their corporate mission or the way they run their company. To me, when these rich men use religion, it's usually always been viewed as a tool for control in my eyes. That's the way I view it, just to control people. So I don't know what he meant by that. Just how, what does God have to do with running a pizza shop, really? No, I do agree with him on the part of truth. I think it's always good to run your business on honesty and being open to the truth and willing to accept the truth just so you can grow. I think that's definitely a good attribute to have, but I'm not so sure if he even followed that, to be honest. Because if you think about it, most of these businessmen are liars, they're scammers, they're schemers. That's how a lot of them were successful. Granted, there are some out there who did make it to the top by being honest and truthful, but I feel the majority of the top CEOs or billionaires got there through lying to a large degree. Just you have to be a skillful liar usually to get to the top. So I don't think he's being honest about that. Really, when it comes to conservative ideology, one of the few things I will respect about conservative ideology is hard work. So if he wants to push hard work and discipline, sure, I'm willing to agree with him on that, but I'm not willing to agree on the rest of that stuff, the nonsense, especially when you say God, because that just opens up a can of worms. It's like, what type of ideology are you trying to push? Probably Christianity, since he's white. It's highly likely he's going to be pushing that type of stuff. And I grew up in the South, so I kind of look at things differently. Christianity in the South has always been viewed as a weapon to control people, especially for the rich to control, just even back in the day, slaves and poor white people, really. That's really the way I view it. So I'm very skeptical of that stuff. The other thing that did crack me up about this article is when he said, quote unquote, so I'm gonna refer to this quote when it comes to them changing the name of Papa John. So I didn't notice this name change that they made recently in November of last year, which was they changed Papa John's from having an apostrophe in there to just Papa John. So the Johns and Papa John's originally had apostrophe, and now they got rid of it, which is pretty funny. It was basically a rebranding goal by the new, I think, CEO of Papa John's. So Shatner responded to it by saying, "Try as they may, they can't have Papa John's without having Papa John." I actually misread the quote. I'm reading. Try as they may, they can't have Papa John's without Papa John. That to me cracked me up. Just that was pretty funny, but it really goes to show you how egotistical these guys are who create these companies. I think ego plays a large part in their success, but it is also a huge part in their downfall. Well, when it comes to some of them, especially John. So just I found that hysterical. Just this guy is really a piece of garbage, and I felt he got what he deserved when he lost his company. Sure, he's still rich, but I know his ego took a huge hit knowing that he's not the CEO anymore and he can't run the show. But that's all I had to say about this.